Yeah. It's Bump J, aka B Dot. You mean we live with Mikey T, the movie star, Report Card Radio. You already know what it is.
Here we go, Bump J, man. It's great to have you on Report Card Radio, bro.
Right. I'm happy to be here.
You know, after building such a dope relationship with Gillie the Kid, I thought it was only right to come and get with all the Figgas, man.
Say that, then.
All right, man. Let's call this the Goon Edition. So, Bump J, when I spoke, the other members of the major Figgas, they all really cited you as being the glue or the guy who was actually there to form and create the group. Could you tell me a little bit about the group coming together?
All right, well, back in the day, I think I ran into Wallow in the gallery, and he saw me open up for Biggie Smalls at the Fever with my brothers and them. So he wound up coming through the block. We was busting it up. He asked me how I do it, how I get started. I mean, I gave him a mixtape that I was listening to. He went back with the mixtape. Guess he found, he went back, got Gil, that's his cousin. I mean, they came back probably like 2 days later and shit. 3 days later. Introduced me to, well, I already knew Gil from the hood, but Gil didn't rap. So he come back, he like, I got my cousin with me, my cousin rapping. I'm looking like, Gil? Like, Gil don't rap, Gil play ball. Like, he was like, no, like, I'm doing this now. I mean, he spit. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Took him to the studio. I used to be at a studio right up the street from my grandma's house, 2020 studio. Shout out Peanut. Shout out Marcus Graham. And Peanut and Graham used to be there, so my brothers used to record at. And so I took Gil and Wallow up there, and, from there, we clicked. Lava wound up coming around. Lava was always a rapper, though. He used to be at the same shows, but he had his own squad, But he wound up coming around, and they did a couple songs. I ain't jump on the early songs when Wallow was around. I ain't jump on them songs. I used to be there, though. And Wallow got locked up. And Gil still wanted to come to the studio. And he used to be with El De Niro. So that's the original Figgas. Gillie the Kid, Wallow, El De Niro.
Wow, man, but that trips me out that you were actually performing with Biggie Smalls? Opening up for him?
I opened up for Biggie every time he came to Philly, like 3-4 times. Biggie, Wu-Tang, Keith Murray. I was probably like 13, 14 years old. It really was my brothers opening up for Biggie, and I used to open up for my brothers. But, I was there. You know what I mean?
That's crazy, man. Could you tell me what type of relationship that enabled you to have with Biggie, or did you ever get to have a conversation?
I never had a relationship with Big. I spoke to him. I took a couple pictures with him. But, no, we didn't have a relationship. So, but when we were doing the shows, I was noticed because I couldn't be on the floor. I would have to be away from everything because it was liquor and everything, so it would always be a top tier or something, and I would be there. But I saw him a lot.
Yeah, man, I actually came into the game post Pac and Big, you know what I'm saying? Like, just right after they had left us. What type of a guy was Big, man, though? What type of demeanor did he give off?
He was cool, like, from what I saw, funny. Cool. Like, I don't know. Like, I never really had a relationship with him. I just used to see him. I see him, greet him. I was a kid, so.
Yeah, man, a lot of people never got the chance to see somebody like Jay-Z or Eminem live.
Right. I went on tour with Eminem. Before he blew up, I did the Lyricist Lounge tour. I was signed to Tommy Boy, and I did a Lyricist Lounge tour, and it was the infamous syndicate Shauna from DTP, and she had a partner back then, so it was them two, the infamous syndicate. It was Eminem and it was us, and M used to perform with Royce the 5'9". So I used to see M backstage and everything. Like,
that's what's up, man. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't know, but you were actually the first figure with a record deal?
Yeah.
Could you take me into signing your first deal?
Well, like I said, I used to open up for my brothers. And my brothers wound up forming a group, and I wound up being a part of that group. And Set Free, Got us a deal with Tommy Boy. He used to do all the work out of Set Free's house. Production was from him, a couple other guys, but yeah, for the most of it, he ran us in and got us a deal with Tommy Boy. Like right when that deal happened, though, I, I formed the Figgas, and it costed my brother and them their deal damn near, like, because it was a single deal, and it wound up being on Jet Li soundtrack, Black Mass movie, and they wanted to do an album deal, but I wouldn't sign to do the album deal because I wanted to do the Figures, so kind of everything up, I guess, in a sense.
So, Bump, let's tap into it. You addressed earlier who were the early members of the Major Figgas, who eventually became the formidable members of the group.
All right, so started with Gil, Wallow, El Dinero, and Wallow got locked up. When Wallow got locked up, that's when I started recording with Gil and El Dinero, and we wrote faster than El Dinero. Wallow got locked up.
Wallow was actually credited for making up the name?
Yeah, Wallow came up with everything. Wallow came up with Major Figgas. He had the little. He had his. It was his dream. He was driving. You know what I mean? He had the vision. He was driving.
How did it affect everything when he got locked up for, I think he got like 20 plus years?
No, this is the first time he got locked up. So he got about like 10 years. And I wouldn't say it affected anything because he got locked up in the very, very beginning. Like no sooner than they recorded their first 2 songs, Wallow got locked up. So it didn't affect the group because the group wasn't the group that you know it to be, so to say. It actually helped because when Wallow went down, I stepped in, and then I knew Spade for a while, like before when he started rapping. He was in a group with a guy I went to school with, so like I knew Spade, so I'm like, Gil, let's go over to Nicetown and get my man Spade. Like
That's right. Spade was previously in another group.
Right, they're with terrorists. So it's like, let's go over to Nicetown, get my man Spade. He a beast, but they might not let him go. Like we might have to go to war for him. And Gil was with it. Like we out. So and that's what happened. Like we pulled up on the block. It was about like 6, 7, 8 of them. Just me and Gil. We threw the beat on and we went. And in the end, Gil wound up seeing Spade downtown or something, and Spade was like I'm running with y'all. Like, come pick me up. He wound up moving into my aunt's house, and that was Spade. From Spade, Lava was always around, so that came. Dutch was right down the street. That was my youngin'. Well, I wouldn't say my youngin', but he wasn't running with us. Like he was running with the younger kids. So, but
and then there was most famously Gillie the Kid that you actually said you saw him as a ball player.
He was a ball player. He didn't rap. I've been with Gil since his first rap. Boss nigga. And we do boss things like rocking icy chains and fat ass diamond ring.
Gillie had some fly raps.
Yeah, Gil was the shit. Gil was the shit. Gil was the shit. It was shocking. Because like I said, he was a ball player. So.
But it was probably inevitable that he was going to get a solo deal. Did you think like that back then?
No, because
he was so new to it?
No, because we wasn't on it.
Yeah, like you said, you had left the group to be around a group of guys who were more like yourself.
It was more, at that time, it was more like, let's go kill shit. You know what I mean? When shit, it actually blew up. And it was like, I don't even know the word, but.
Was there really anything out there to kill? Because
I remember, no, that's before state property.
Exactly.
I'm talking about Big L. That's what really glued us. Big L. Big L dissed Gil.
Big L this
Big L
Gillie.
dissed Gil. Big L dissed Gil. Gil went and did. Gil went and did a freestyle. I think it was in Harlem with Silver Surfer, and Gil had this line where he said, "I'm not from Harlem World, but these bitches want to mace me." And he had this flow. Y'all niggas like to stress them hoes and sweat them hoes and spend money to dress them hoes. I sex them hoes and send them home. And then Big L heard the joint and came back with Gil flow. Y'all niggas something. It's like, yo, like, really? Like, but it was off that line. I'm not from Harlem World, but you bitches want to mace me. And Big L came at Gil. He was like, oh yeah. And this was started the mixtape. This is no one, like nobody ever made an actual mixtape. DJs made them, DJ Clue and all them. They made mixtapes, but no group mixtapes. Nobody ever did that. And it started because Big L dissed Gil, and we went to 2020, and we pulled out the beats, and it was like, yo, that's where they winning. Like they got better beats than us. You know what I mean? We need beats like them. I went to Sam Goody at my lunchtime. I used to go to school in Center City, so I went to Sam Goody at my lunchtime, and I grabbed all the instrumentals. Can't Nobody Hold Me Down from Puff. Been Around the World. My Lady from D'Angelo. All the little popping instrumentals, and brought the instrumentals back. Like, we gonna rap on this shit. And we was rapping on instrumentals, other people beats. And Marcus Graham was like the mastermind of it, because we didn't know any better. Like I said, there was never a mixtape. Marcus Graham wound up taking all them joints. He used to record us all the time, and then the songs that we would do, he would like just put them on a tape so he could listen to them in his car. But he wound up passing it out, and the tape wound up being recorded from other people, and then it started something. And by that time, people was asking who these niggas like, and that's where it happened. That's where it started. It was like
I've
overnight.
done a few interviews with Gil, and I've watched a couple interviews on the internet where Gil actually has said that you were the one who called him when the Lil Wayne beef sparked off. Is that true?
A little bit. Like we was in Atlanta. Gil and I went back to Philly, and I was riding around with Lil Boo, and Lil Boo like, Wayne mixtape came out, so we went and got the mixtape. We left Atlanta and came home, and and that's when I actually listened to the mixtape. You know what I mean? And Gil came and picked me up, and I'm like, yo, like, Wayne dissed you on the mixtape. He's like, man, Wayne ain't dissed me, man. It's like, it's my nigga or whatever. I'm like, all right, like, cool. By like the next day, a nigga called him from somewhere, like, yo, Wayne dissed you? So he hit me like, yo, nigga just called me and said Wayne dissed me, man. I'm like, dog, I told you he dissed you. He like, what he dissed me on? So I'm like, I got the mixtape. So he pull up, it's me, him, and his son in the car. He pull up, I put the joint in. I'm like, he dissed you right here. So he like, man, he not saying my name, man. Y'all tripping. So he played back. Like, man, he not saying my name. I'm telling you. Then he turned around to his son, and he say, is he saying my name? And we play it. And his son said, yeah, Dad. He said your name. It's like, oh my goodness. All right. All right, cool. Set up the session. We on. It's like, all right. That's where that came from.
Wow, that's crazy, man. So, what did you think about the way that Gillie actually reacted to, Wayne dissing him for him to go all
He
out?
wasn't mad. Because I guess he was in shock more. Like, because it's like where it's coming from. Like, me and dude cool. But when he realized, like, dude, he dissed him, it was like, all right, cool. Let's play ball. So he wasn't mad. It was just like, let's play ball. Mm. Everyday shit. You mean nothing we wasn't used to. Like I told you, Big L dissed Gil. So, you know what I mean?
Did the Major Figures members partake in the beef on wax?
Nah, nah. That was personal. It's personal. I mean, like, I ain't know Wayne, so I'm not gonna jump on the track and diss a nigga I don't know. Like, can't talk about a nigga I don't know what I'm gonna say. I mean, I don't know you. But, no, that was personal. That was him and Wayne.
How did Major Figures' relationship start with Beanie Siegel?
Um, Mine, personally, a battle. Um, I was in Yonkers. I used to be in Yonkers all the time with Kiss, the Locks. And, one time I went out there and Kiss was like, look, I'm running to the studio real quick. You mean I'm gonna be back? You mean gotta do some shit with Hooves? I'm like, all right, cool. Whatever. He come back. I wound up seeing him the next day. We went out. I wound up seeing him the next day. And he like, yo, you know the nigga Beanie Mac? Like, no, I never heard of him. Like, he from Philly. It's like I asked him if he heard of you. He said he didn't hear you. And I'm like, man, bullshit. Like, I mean, we run Philly. Like, that's our shit. Like, the Figgas. Like, so I wound up getting back to Philly, and Malachi from South Philly, Dirty Reek and Malachi was cool. And Malachi used to like set up battles and shit. And Dirty Reek told Malachi about me. And Malachi came and got me. We go down South Philly. I battle a couple niggas, kill them. A couple days later, he come get me again. Go down South Philly, battle a couple niggas, kill them. I go out Yonkers. That's when Kiss did the joint. Tell me about Mac. Never heard of him. Come back. Malachi come get me. Go down there. You mean I battle Murder Mill. You mean I beat Murder Mill, and that was Bean's partner. So he called Siegel. And it was like, all right, you gonna battle Siegel tomorrow? So I'm like, all right. Well, it was Beanie Mac. You gonna battle Mac tomorrow? So I'm like, all right, whatever. Go down there. I promise you, it was probably like every nigga that I battled and beat in South Philly, and then their squad. So it was like 100 niggas in the schoolyard behind the gate, and one fat nigga in the front. And I'm outside the gates. So they inside the gate and I'm outside the gate. And it's like, well, it's about to go down. Like, let's do it. Like, you mean, put the beat on. You mean, I go, Beans go. You mean, then I go, then Beans go. Then the beat, they didn't rewind the beat. So it kept playing. And when it played, Love for Gillie came on. And Gil had like just recorded that, you know, like it really just started popping. And he stopped. And he like, yo, that's Gillie? And I'm like, yeah. He like, you know Gillie? I'm like, yeah, that's my man. He's like, damn, call that nigga. And I called Gil. You know what I mean? And he like, damn, come down like da-da-da. And Gil come down. But Gil had saw him probably like the week before in the syrup house. You know what I mean? Uh, but I guess they ain't exchanged numbers or whatever. I don't know. But then I called Gil. Gil come down and wind up clicking. That was that.
So you said the Syrup House.
Yeah.
Could you explain that to me?
The syrup house. That's where we used to get the syrup from. Promethazine, codeine. Well, actually, we used to drink yellow. We was drinking that snot. You know what I mean? But a lot of niggas was drinking the purple. We was drinking the snot. And then South Philly had the syrup house. You know what I mean? So if it was dry in North Philly, we go down South Philly and score. You know what I mean? Michelle Coffee. Coffee! You mean? Coffee had them waters, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I did hear that Philly was notorious for maybe starting the lean shit.
Hell yeah. Well, I wouldn't say we started the lean. We just was it wasn't new to us. You know what I mean? So if Texas want to say they was on it, all right, cool. You know what I mean? But y'all didn't start it. Like, it wasn't new to us. I mean, it's been around since forever. That was our drug of choice over here. So,
And man, let me tell you, to have an experience on that, man, you really do feel like you're leaning like the Eiffel Tower or something.
hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hey, it's a lot of nights on that shit, man.
Lean is no fun.
A lot of nights, man. But that was our thing. That was our thing. Kids running around, you mean? Go down, get the shot. That's what we used to call it. We need our shot, man. You mean water. I mean, the old heads used to call it syrup and pancakes. You know what I mean? 'Cause they get the pills. You mean? The pills is the pancakes. You got the syrup. You know what I mean? So that's where the syrup terminology came from.
So, Bump J, could you explain to me the early interest that came from Jay-Z with the Major Figgas? Where did that come from?
Beans. Um, Beans would always, I guess, go up there. He would tell Jay about, it's like, yo, these niggas, these niggas, these niggas. And Sadiq and Roller wound up calling Gil. Well, they wound up calling Spade because Spade was already fucking with Sadiq as a manager. And they wound up talking to Gil and Spade. It was like, Jay wants y'all to come up. And Gil and Spade came and told everybody else, like, yo, I mean, gonna go to Roc-A-Fella and holla at Jay. It was like, all right. Jumped in the cars and we rode out. Got up there. Jay, Dane, there's a couple other people, Tata. Well, everybody was in like the studio. Jay was recording, and he stopped, came out. He was like, "You mean, I've been hearing a lot. Like, you mean, impress me." And I think the first one to rap just like set the tone, and the room was just crazy from there. I mean, I can't remember who was the first to rap, but I remember the first person that rapped set the room on fire, and from there it was just like crazy. Everybody followed suit. The room never went back down. Like it was always at the high point and never came back down. And he stopped and was like, "It's a dynasty. Like we Roc-A-Fella." And in the end, we really wasn't. Like he was. I guess it was like he said we was going to sign to Black Friday / Roc-A-Fella, and Gil wasn't with that. Gil wasn't with it. I mean, he was like, y'all gonna sign to my people's company, and it's gonna be signed under Roc-A-Fella. You mean y'all get the budget? We get y'all the big budget and everything. You mean it was gonna be me, Gil, Dutch Speed, Lava, and Gil had just signed with Tony Draper. I never forget it. He signed with Tony Draper. We went and had this meeting, and he was like, Jay want niggas to sign. He want niggas to sign to Black Friday. He don't want to sign us to Roc-A-Fella.
Which was what?
Black Friday was a management company, but with Sadiq and Roller. But I guess Jay was going to get them their own situation from them bringing him Beans. You know what I mean? So it was like Beans would frontline that situation, which then was Black Friday probably turned into state property. You know what I mean? But originally it was them niggas in Black Friday, and it was like Tony Draper just gave me $100,000. You know what I mean? And I believe that each and every one of y'all is worth what I'm worth, if not more. You know what I mean? As a group, Jay want to give us $50,000, and he don't want us with Roc-A-Fella. He want us with Black Friday Roc-A-Fella. You know what I mean? If y'all niggas want to sign a Roc-A-Fella, if y'all niggas want to sign a Black Friday, I mean, I'm with y'all. I play team ball. But if y'all niggas want to hold out and try and get some real money, let's do it on our own. And it's like, fuck it. Like, we're going to do it on our own. Gil put the money up. I mean, with a couple other niggas. You mean, we recorded that. Then was a mixtape, which turned into our album on Rough Nation Warner Brothers. We recorded that, John. We sold about 5,000 copies in the street. $10 a wop. You know what I mean? And then wind up the next year remastering it and putting it out with Rough Nation Warner Brothers as our first album.